So with the new ban list getting announced and King's Court getting released yesterday, I think there's going to be a lot of shifts when it comes to the top 5 decks of the meta. So let's start taking a look at them now. Yo guys, I'm Juan from Pokeballers and welcome to hashtag Team Next Phase, where we do all type of content. So make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Link to everybody's channels in the description below. Make sure to go give them some love as well. They do some great content in their own channels. But today we have big news. Ban list is released. King Course is released. We need to look at the top decks because we got a YCS coming up. And guys, this is not an invitational YCS because I know that normally they're invitational. This is an everybody can play YCS. You just pay your $20. You have your setup, you stream on Discord, and you're set. Win yourself a PlayStation 5 on a Switch if you can. I'm personally going to be entering, and it's my first YCS ever after like 3 years of not playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! So, let's take a look at the top 5 decks, or what I think are going to be the top 5 decks this format, and have you guys start preparing on how you guys want to counter these decks, if you guys want to prepare for these decks, if you guys want to play any of these decks. So with that said, number 5 on the list is gonna be Dragon Link. Everybody's Link combo deck. Everybody loves Dragon Link, right? It's not like we've been dealing with it for like the past, 2 years? And it hasn't gotten touched once. It's amazing. LP's banned. Amazing. LP's banned. I think it's still gonna be a strong deck even with LP being gone, because people will find ways around it. Less consistent ways, easier to block, easier to negate, easier to stop the combo. Striker Dragon being limited as well is a big hit, is definitely a big hit. I think the deck has not been killed. I think it's still going to be very playable. I don't think it can compete with any of the decks above in this list. It might get a couple of wins every now and then, but the deck is just not as strong as it used to be, deservedly so. It needs to go. I wish they would have hit it harder. But yeah, I think Dragon Link is definitely going to be a contender when it comes to a tier 1.5, maybe leaning into a tier 2 deck. But that's it. At number 4, we have Tri-Brigade. So Tri-Brigade is a deck that also got hit inadvertently in the blend list. It didn't really get hit into its main engine. The Tri-Brigade cards didn't get touched. Obviously, they're not going to get hit. They just got released in the past few sets. But they got hit in the sense that Trident is gone again. Trident leaves and comes back and leaves again and will come back again. The world may never know, probably at some point. But the Zoo engine got hit. And do I think it's a significant hit? Yeah, I think Trident is a very good card if you have access to it. Do I think that the deck is dead because of it? No. I think that Tri-Brigade is definitely going to be a contender going into the new YCS. But it's not going to be as strong. It's definitely going to be needing a lot more resources to be able to break up plays. But it's definitely playable. It's definitely playable. I think the Trident hit might hurt consistency. It might hurt the amount of just raw output that the deck can have when it comes to stopping opponents' plays. But it definitely can play around Trident. Maybe even just look at taking out most of the Zoo engine and replace it with something else. Or even just play pure Tri-Brigades. But the deck itself is still busted. It's still going to come back and hunt you. So prepare for it. Make sure you have a good side deck. Number 3 on the list, we have Prank Kids. Obviously, they didn't get touched. They're still annoying. They're still going to beat you in time. Okay, they're going to do burn damage to you. So prepare for that. Or they're going to heal themselves up. And you're still going to lose in time. So you're playing against Prank Kids, beat them before you get to time. Unless you're playing a Prank Kids mirror match. Which at that point, good luck. Prank Kids did not get touched by the ban list. I think they normally, if this ban list wouldn't have come at the time that it has, they will be closer to number 5. I think there still will be a top 5 deck in this format. But just with Dragon Link and with Tri-Brigade getting hit, I really do think that Prank Kid is definitely going to step up. It's going to be one of the decks to watch out for. In my opinion, Prank Kid is going to win YCS, the remote YCS. So be on the watch out for that. It's definitely one of the more budget friendly decks too, which is another reason why I think it might get a lot of play in the YCS, especially compared to the next 2 decks that we have coming up. So Prank Kids at number 3. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Number 2 in my list, we have Invoked Shaddoll. So now you guys already definitely know what's coming up on number 1. But yeah, Invoke Shaddoll is my pick for number 2. And the reason that I think it's only gonna be number 2 is because the deck that's number 1, if it goes first and pretty much pulls off what it's trying to do, is gonna be very hard for Shaddoll to come back. Shaddoll didn't get hit whatsoever, in my opinion, and I'm a Shaddoll player. I'm probably going to be playing Shaddolls at the YCS. Shaddoll is a very, very overpowered deck if you think of Shaddoll Fusion. I don't know how Shaddoll Fusion is at 3. Shaddoll Fusion should be at 1 or maybe at 2. I don't think Winda is the problem of the deck. I think Winda is the win condition of the deck. But I think that Winda, when you think about it, is a fair card. It doesn't really protect itself too much. It does have some sort of self-protection. It does floodgate the opponent and yourself, but when yourself, it doesn't really matter. But I think it's a fair card. There's a reason why Winda hasn't really gotten banned, right? Like, the problem was Construct. Everybody knew the problem was Construct. Winda is just there to help you win. Now, Shaddoll Fusion letting you summon from your extra deck, from your deck, is really, really strong. Really strong. I honestly think that it is an unfair card. As a Shaddoll player, I would be completely okay if it would have gotten hit. I was expecting it to get hit, but the fact that it didn't means that the deck is full power. We are full power, running rampant around the format, and with Schism in the deck as well, it's just mind this. I think you would be crazy to not have Shaddoll as one of your biggest threats when it comes to this upcoming YCS, and for the rest of the format in general. I think Shaddoll is gonna stay on the top. I don't really think there's too many decks that can move it out of the way. We'll see to what Konami releases in the future to see if any other decks are gonna step up. But as of right now, Shaddoll number 2. Now, number 1, the final deck of the list. You guys already know what I'm talking about. Drytrons, okay? Drytrons are going to be number 1. The only way that I can see Drytrons not being number 1 is because everybody expects them to be number 1. So everybody's going to prepare for Drytron. Everybody's going to be countering Drytron. It's going to be the let's go kill Drytron, all of us together party at the YCS. So at that point, Prankits and Shaddoll might step up a little bit more and take over that number 1 spot. But definitely Drytron's going unchecked in this ban list. Getting Diviner, which is a ridiculous card. Getting Mew Beta Fafnir, which is a ridiculous card coming out of Lightning Overdrive. I think the Drytrons are just going to run rampant. I think they're probably the best deck when it comes to setting up a break my board. Even if it's just a Herald of Ultimateness with 4 fairies in hand. They're like, here, I got 4 negates. What are you going to do about it? Nothing, because you start with 6 cards and 4 of them are getting negated. So you have 2 cards to play with. Okay? That's not fun. It's literally a card that in its printing says, please, don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Scoop up and let's go into game 2. And I personally think that that's a little bit busted. I think that next ban list is definitely going to get hit. But it was definitely too early for them to get murdered in this ban list already. I know that Benten already got hit, so that was big enough. But now with Mew Beta coming out and Diviner being out, I don't really think they feel Benten or they even care about Benten getting hit. It's just an absurd deck. It's too much raw power. And yeah, let me know if you guys disagree with that pick. Also, some honorable mentions that I didn't really talk about, but also could be a little bit of a threat coming out of this ban list are Sky Striker. Okay, Engage. Engage is back. You know that card that lets you search and draw? And it's like a pot of greed for free, essentially. Getting the cards that you actually want to get, right? Because it lets you search a card. Engage is back. And you guys know what happens when Engage is back. Rose goes from $9 to $40. Okay? How stupid is that? I sold Rose for $9 4 months ago. I checked the price yesterday after the ban list, and it's close to $40. Now, another honorable mention. This is my favorite deck, personally. It's a deck that I would definitely play if we had a certain card back at 2, maybe at 3, which I think would be broken. Salaman Greats. Okay, Salaman Greats is a deck that I've had the most success with. It's a deck that I hold very dear to my heart. But as of right now, I wouldn't consider them to be Salaman Greats. I would consider them to be Salaman Good. Okay, Salaman Good, because we still have Gazelle at 1. We still have Circle at 1. Stalio's good. We only need 1 Stalio anyway, so Stalio is really, really good coming off of the ban list. It definitely opens up a lot more plays and ways to run the deck. So it's not so linear, so predictable. which I think could be a sleeper deck. Very, very strong sleeper deck coming into the YCS. But I don't know, man. I think having that one Gazelle is an issue. Getting it banned so easily with Pot of Desires is an issue. I think if we had 2 Gazelles, it would definitely be a top 3 deck in the format. No questions asked. But 1 Gazelle, 1 Circle. This means that I can put it any higher than an honorable mention. But yeah, guys, I think that has been the video. If you guys have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. For more content, hit the bell so you guys never miss a video. And with that said, I'm out. Peace.